Really? You caught me. I'm in the shop playing with Legos and Play-Doh. Oh, seriously, I am. Well, the outcome is going to be a silicone rubber mold for casting Sierra pen blanks. So, step one, I glued the brass tube in, trimmed this to the edge, circled it, well, turned it into a nice circle about the size of what I want pen blank to come out of the mold. So as you can see, you can put this, the process would be to put a blank tube in this mold, fill it with Alumilite, and then when we're done we'd have this. So I'm going to show you the process, and it is literally Play-Doh and Legos. So I grab some of my clay. I'm going to roll this out, maybe into a nice flat piece. This seems to be a good size for my mold. So I'm making my mold out of these Legos. As you can see, I've got pieces and parts here I need to figure out how to use. I need the new ones. Well, anyway, I'll probably fast forward through some of this. But I made this mold in the past and I was happy with the size of it. So I'm going to make another box about that size with Legos as my base. Now I'm going to take this mold out. Still need to... And I want the clay kind of be nice and flat. And I want the clay the size of this box. It doesn't have to be perfect, but might as well do a good job. So I cut this off about like that, about like that. So I'm making the silicone mold upside down. It's going to go in like this. That'll become apparent here in a second. So I've got clay for the bottom, which is going to be the top, so I might as well make it look fairly even if I can. Now I take this, put it right in the mold, and bury it in the clay. If I was making a two-piece mold, like I tried here, that would be buried in, and then I would put the second piece of silicone on there, and that could come apart. I just didn't have enough when I did this one, so that's a next try. But there we go. I've got that buried in there. It's ready to go. So when I demold this new silicone mold, it's going to look like this. I'll have the opening that I just pushed down into the clay, and this surrounding that, and then the bottom is going to come out like that. And this one I did actually in a two-step. I did this first step, and then I turned it upside down and put a little bit more on it so I can accommodate for spillage or make sure I get it full when I make it. And so now you can see I've got this almost already made. That's about the size my mold wants to come up. And I don't want any holes in this, so I've got to pay attention when I put a big block in like that. Put that on there like that. So there, you can see the mold has clay in the bottom, has the piece in the bottom, and I'm ready to mix up some 2-part silicone. I'm using Alumilite brand Platt 55 silicone and catalyst, and it's a 10-to-1 deal. So I'll put in 60 grams of this, 6 grams of this, and that will probably be about enough for my mold. Okay, now we are getting down to business. I have my cup, which weighs 13 grams, on my scale. My scale zeroed out as minus 13 grams in case I need that. Anyway, I'm going to just leave that at 0. And I think I need, let's go 70 if I've got that much left. Try, it's always a good idea to see how much that stick weighs too. 2 grams. Okay, let's go to 70 with this stuff. So this stuff has a potting life, if that's the right term, of about an hour. But it has a consistency of syrup. Really thick and gooey. So it's not really going to dry out on me per se, but it is going to just get all over everything. So now if I put that in, that's 72 exactly, with my stick in that cup. So I'm happy about that. That's about all of that I got left. Let's go more, let's go to 80. Make sure I have enough. I've done some of these, but I haven't calculated my volume exactly right yet. $81. I'm just going to call that 80. Hello? Dave's not here. No, Dave's not here. Call back tomorrow. Go. Now, I need 8 grams of this. I truly hope you can see this. Just have my scale. I'm pouring in blue stuff. 88 plus 88. Alright, now I have a deep dark blue and a creamy white. And the idea here is to just mix it a lot. Not in a particular hurry, but like I said, this stuff acts like really thick, gooey peanut butter. Oh, so I don't know if it's necessary. It is. This is called Stoner Mold Release, and you need to spray it in the mold. So that when the silicone cures, which it cures in a day. Sorry, I need to have my fan out there. It does cure in a day, and once it's cured, I think 5 days till it's a full cure. But the other thing to notice is that pin blank in there, the center brass tube only goes in a little ways and then it's filled with clay. So I've used some more modeling clay in the process. Alright, now I've mixed the bejeebers out of this. I am going to put it in the vacuum chamber and degas it. So that's worth a close look. Alright, now we have the goo sitting in there. After I've mixed it up, some air bubbles come to the top anyway. I'm going to turn on the vacuum pump, close the inches of mercury, 20 inches, so it's just starting to really bubble. Now it gets littler and littler bubbles. I hope you can see that. Not sure exactly how long I have to leave this in here. I've done it for a few minutes. I mean, it takes a couple minutes to achieve the best vacuum I can get, which I'm getting really close. And you can see the whole fluid has kind of expanded and there's lots of bubbles, smaller bubbles coming to the top. But this seems to have done the trick. I'll just get a really good pour. And just sinks right back into the plastic cup. So now I'm back at zero. So now the instructors say just choose part of the mold and let the silicone just kind of go in from one edge and fill the mold up. And what I've found is nice and slowly it will fill the mold up. You don't add additional bubbles and the silicone will sneak into the clay ends, into the ends of the tube that have the clay in them. Hello! Today we are going to unpot this mold that I made for my pens. It's a little greasy, it's a little sticky, but the silicone just comes right on off. We need to get in and pry it a little bit. Oh, well, anyway, that's a good sign. There's not much leakage through the bottom. But the idea now is to just get the clay and the Legos off. You put the clay in the Lego and you mix it up real good. Yeah, this works. It's quick and easy to make the Legos. Leaked a little bit. I could probably clean that up if I was so inclined, but what I'm interested is how it looks on the inside. This has been about 24 hours, well, 20 hours since I did this. As you can see, the clay come off. There's a little bit of that mold release on it. It's a little bit sticky, but it's just clay after all. One thing to note, I got some modeling clay, and the clay is the non-drying type of clay for making molds or creative things. It won't dry out, and so I don't know exactly whether that's silicone. Wouldn't be silicone based or oil based or whatever, but just go look at modeling clay at the craft store and you can find some in cool colors. Hopefully won't dry out. I was able to do this before. Helps get some of the clay off. But anyway, you can see I did a pretty good job of pressing that down into the mold. So I'm going to put some more on this mold. So I'm going to do a second pour where I put it back in here. I build up the Legos, and then I'll have to do something like this. Just real simple. I did it before. If I put something on there just like this, then build the Legos up around it, I'll pour another little layer of silicone on it, so it'll be a little bit higher. That one, I guess it was hard to judge when I was doing it, but I set it down into the clay a little bit farther than I'd hoped. But that'll just come out of there like that. A little bit of clay on there. So then to use it, reload it, I'll just get a pen blank and be able to put a pen tube in there like that, and then fill it with acrylic or Alumilite, which is the resin that I use. So that one looks good. That one works a little bit better than these. I think this one, the parts are a little bit long, but I can easily trim them off with an X-Acto knife. And this was done last week, and this was just done, so I can tell this is a little bit softer. It's a little bit sticky, but it'll get better. I think the cure time is about a week. So, alright, that was fun. And that's how I was able to make some silicone molds for pen blanks, for pen turning. So, if you like this, send some comments, subscribe. It's getting to be fun.